Once again, welcome everyone on my channel. In the next 6-7 minutes you are being invited for a portion of Real Play the Madness, especially at the very end. So I recommend you to watch this video till the end, and those who like my content, you can already support me with a like. Let's get started! Starting with the myth. Supposedly, an olive pit with a vine or pumpkin planted on it makes the mage and octo-zombie endlessly try to stun such a duo of plants. As we know, the pit itself is ignored by these two companions, and they ignore it along with the pumpkin, but there is a nuance. They are inactive only until they get close to the plants, and that's where their carnival of foolishness and blindness begins. These two geniuses throw octopuses and casts, but do so without success, and since they are as determined as sheep, it can really go on endlessly, so the myth turns out to be true. They are not even distracted by the completely ordinary plant I've planted just behind the pit. Confused zombies don't notice anything around and try to catch pit. They are just stupid fools. I was about to end the video, but something suddenly made me push the zombies away. I guess I wanted to see if they would still pay attention to Peanut if they were far away. I took the ice cabbage and blew the zombies away. And then the retarded mage suddenly decided that from now he could turn even single-use plants into a ship. But since he was frozen, he reacted very slowly. The cabbage disappeared and he turned an empty space into a ship. What's the madness? By the way, I then killed the mage, and you know what appeared under the ship? That's right, nothing. Another myth. It states that Springy Bob goes on alert if an enlightened zombie flies at him. The subject is an approach, and indeed the spring is contracted, but it will never uncoil until the zombie flies further away. So this little myth is true. By the way, the ult will not affect the radiant dead guy in any way. And the next myth is more serious. It says that Fakir, who was hypnotized during the attack, can kill even a zombie. Landed the magic mint a split second ahead of the attack, but that didn't stop Fakir from burning his Roman friends. It turns out that no matter that the flame animation is directed to the right side, the damage only done to the left, which is where the healers were unlucky enough to end up. So it's not a myth, it's the truth. By the way, in one of the takes I got this interesting thing. Fakir burned not only healers, but also Peanut. That is, the game didn't figure out whose side he was on at the moment of the attack, whether he was already for us or still for the zombies. That's Fakir, a friend among strangers and a stranger among his friends. Well, we are moving on. Next is a very controversial myth. Basically, there is a belief that Infernus Whirlwind cancels out Boom Bearer's attack. To check this was incredibly difficult, because first of all you need to catch wild timings, and secondly it will not be clear whether the damage from Boom Bearer is counted or not, because the zombie has no life scale. You can't rely on several stages of damage visualization, because in this case you need even more coincidence. But I found the way. We know that Boom Bearer breaks the mage's curse with its hit, so it's just a matter of catching the right timing and seeing if Peanut will uncurse if Boom Bearer hits the mage who got caught in the fire whirlwind. I agonized for a very long time, but still at one point clearly hit the wizard in the fire and immediately the ship from Peanut disappeared. So I believe that we are dealing with a myth, although I don't exclude that someone could have had a single case and got a bug, but single cases are different, and in myths it's necessary that the thing works on a permanent basis. I'm back to trying to freeze a plant during an ult. Characters of the reinforcing mint family are easy to freeze, but I have found through trial and error a way to freeze ulting plant of any family. Yes, now I froze a defensive character again, but I didn't use reinforcing mint, I needed power cells and twine. The main thing here is to give timely feeding to the plant on the first power cage, and then plant the vine during the arrival of the third snowball. To prove my words, I'll show you everything with an example of a plant from the piercing mint family. Laser Bob will do just fine. Well, everything worked perfectly. It's a pity I didn't get into timing so that Bob could release the laser beam in time, but if you try hard enough, you can get absolutely epic poses of different plants. Anyway, I achieved my goal, now I can freeze anything during ult. Let's move on to the next story. There will be a fine animation of Robogug's attack. By throwing Robogug at the moment of laser attack, we get a robot with burning eyes. Yeah, it's a simple little madness. We all know that MC Zombie attack with a microphone at a distance, and I have a question. And whether the attack distance of MC increases if he changes size. Now I took two rappers, one of them got drunk with potions and the other one didn't touch. The upper MC's mic cable is much longer than the lower MC's. Would he hit from a greater distance? Turns out yes, it attacks by being one cell further away than its regular sized counterpart. I didn't check the reduced MC, but I wanted to increase the size of this zombie even more. For this I needed not only potions, but also cardio zombie. The MC turned out to be truly gigantic in size, and in this form it attacks the plant almost from the middle of the lawn. The previous one, I remind you, hit from the third cell, if you count from the left. In general, increasing the MC, the distance of his attack also increases. The answer is... And here is the highlight of today's video. Look at the imp. We need to freeze him at the moment when the tent is set up. Now we teleport the ice flash that appeared and see that the tent is already set up, but the flash also appears, only already at the Ankylosaurus, and we need to try to freeze it again. In this case, Ankylosaurus pushes it and the ice fog materializes again in the imp in the tent. We create a new golden cage and wait for the imp to defrost. As you have already realized, we have a new factory. We are now the happy owners of a tent factory. After doing all the same steps, we get the tent on the golden cage again and a completely unharmed tip with a new tent. This is unparalleled, mind-blowing and true phrasing PvZ madness. Without exaggeration, it's in my top of the best stories on the channel. I hope you also appreciate it and put a like under the video. That's all for today, see you very soon!